Oh my God, y'all. You know, it's so funny. I always start out like so dramatic. Oh my God, y'all. But it's because I never get on when it's just been an average day. Like, hi, y'all. I'm always waiting until I'm like, I can't take it anymore. I have to go make a rant. And then I'm just like bubbling over with, drama. But I have to say, I'm getting ready to put Katie Kool-Lady to bed and just stop thinking about her completely. But I just did have a couple of last things I wanted to say about her and the whole debacle of her leaving her channel. First of all, let me just say that I saw something that I've not even seen spoken of because I think I happened to go there late Sunday night and then I just saw it and it was right after we all, were on Patty's Playhouse that first time when we were like talking about how unreasonable Katie was and being so rude to her subscribers and calling them out and not accepting heartfelt apologies and things like that. That, after that was over, I just went to her channel because I just had a feeling that she was watching, and sure enough, there was the worst video. It was so bad that it just made me, that's when I was like, oh, this is fixing to get so crazy because first of all, I started to see her everywhere. I mean, she was on Colin Landry and STS, and she was at the meet and greet, and she was with Carl, and she was with AA Legal Focus, and just everywhere I turned, there was this woman that I just felt did not deserve that brand of popularity. She didn't really offer anything except the same old story about her murdered sister, and I hate to make it sound like, oh, but it just, when just milk something that happens for everything that's worth, it's like enough already. I don't know. I've been accused of being heartless, so maybe it's true, but I just, I couldn't take seeing her every minute. So when and then and it wasn't even that. I mean, if she was all rainbows, maybe I could have stomached it better. But it was just that I was beginning to see her as such an intolerant, judgmental, hostile person and unreasonable and so full of herself and acting like everyone was out to get her. And I just started to see this real terrible person emerge, and I'm like, and now I have to be faced with her on all my different channels. No. So when we were that Sunday night, I think a lot of us were just kind of griping about the way that she'd been acting. And after I got off of that show, I was like, I wonder if Katie watched that show. For some reason, I just had a feeling because she has her quote unquote little birds, and I figured someone must have told her. But I was not prepared for what I saw, because when I went to her channel, it said our response. So right away I knew she'd seen it. And it was just her and her husband sitting there with their two big faces in the camera and nothing in the background. I mean, that's how close to the camera they were, that you could see their teeth and the inside of their mouth. And it was just so bizarre. And they were laughing hysterical. They did not say a word. They just kept laughing and laughing and laughing as if to say how ridiculous, we all are. And it was just such a come at me laugh. I knew it was going to get crazy because you could just see, like, anybody that was that determined to have it out with you, they're not going to back down. And a lot of the personalities I know that she was coming after aren't going to back down. So it was pretty crazy. And I saw that video and I was like, oh, we need to stop before it gets any worse. We need to stop. So I made my video that just kind of said maybe we could take a deep breath, and right before we write something that we can't take back, we could just chill. And it was my meager and weak attempt at really putting my nose in something, if you think about it. But I really wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to keep calm because I visit all these channels on a daily basis, and I didn't want to have to feel divided and come across hostility and choose a side and all that. So I wasn't really butting in because I felt it was a situation that I'm constantly confronted with. But in any case, it didn't go too well because a lot of people felt they'd never heard of this situation and that I was making a video trying to call attention to it. Really, that was not what was happening, but try and convince the naysayers, you never will. So I gave up on that, and then in the morning I had already made my video, but then I saw when I got home, I checked her site to see if it had gotten worse, and luckily that video was gone, and that made me feel like, oh, everything's better now, which was so naive, but yeah, me. But anyway, so then, within a day or two of that, she made a couple of videos that kind of addressed it in her arrogant way, and then within a day or two, her channel comments were shut off, and she was going to lick her wounds, and I was like, what the hell? I mean, she was so dramatic about it. She was crying. Really, think about it. If you make a blunder on YouTube as a content creator, and you have this really large following because of the 7,000 some odd subscribers that she had, I would say probably 6,500 of them didn't get turned off and thought she was the cat's meow. So if you have that kind of following, but you see that people are starting to get the wrong impression of you or the right impression, and you want to, fix it, you should just apologize. Just make a heartfelt apology. Say that, you realize that you were trying, to be too dictatorial, and really it's not your place. If people want to come to your channel, they're welcome. If they don't like what they see, they're welcome to comment. That's what comments are about. And, you don't have to acknowledge them, and you don't have to make a really big thing out of it. But instead, she went and took the low road and, just started her whole thing where now she's reinventing herself, which is probably too late because she's already had so many people dissect her motives and her past behavior that a lot of, the jig is almost up at this point. But I guess she could still convince some people because, to be honest with you, I listen to her sometimes, and she does have some smart things to say and some good life lessons. But the problem is they're sprinkled in between a lot of lessons that she's almost too much already. You can't live your life like a what is that called? Inspirational snippets. You gotta live. And yeah, if you can take an occasional word of wisdom, pearl of wisdom, whatever it's called. I'm tired. Can you hear? If you take the occasional pearl of wisdom and you sprinkle it in your daily life, or this week you try to live by this rule, and then the next week when you feel you've addressed that, maybe like that. But she's just always spouting so many inspirational expressions and everything. It's just overwhelming. And then the flowers and the coffee and get dressed, for goodness sakes. I don't understand what is up like that. I am not saying that when you come on YouTube you have to be camera ready like some supermodel, but goodness gracious, some of the ways that she shows up on her channel with just looking really weird, big nose and weird skin sometimes, and I don't know, she had a chemical peel a while back ago, but just ugh. So that kind of has got to go. I don't see anyone else showing up like that on any channel. It's just weird. She just keeps getting weirder. But anyway, so enough about that. So I just wanted to say what made me think that it was going to get crazy was that I thought she was a lot more liked than she was. I thought it was going to be a big divide between channels and things like that. But luckily, I'm not going to say she wasn't too liked, but luckily people just don't want to get in the fray, and they're just not getting involved, and except for TSP, which I don't even know what the heck. I started not to care for him when he started to do lives because he really wasn't comfortable in front of the camera. He didn't have a lot to say, and all he would do is just kiss everybody's butt. And I can't stomach that for long. So, I don't know why he went in the dramatic angle either. He should have just stopped posting. I mean, he really didn't have much to apologize for, but he just should have taken a break. I don't understand people. I don't. I never will. But anyway. So I just want to say, and the last thing about Katie Kool-Aid's channel, it's not her channel, it's about her, the detention center. It's so funny because I had a video of mine get picked up. Somebody shared it, and it wound up on that channel like a week or two ago. And I was like, because nobody ever shares my videos because, I just waffle too much. And, I get it. But they shared it, and it wasn't well received. Some people liked it, but some other people said that I was being passive aggressive, and I was, I don't even remember. I don't remember. But then I posted another video like a week later praising the detention center because I hadn't found them at that point. But I really meant what a great place it was because before finding them, I was just so... just feeling weird about YouTube and hanging. And so I put, I said it's a great hang and everybody there is pretty cool and really respectful, and they're not looking to just pile on. They're just looking to vent about their experience with her and their observations of her, which I think is fair game considering she puts herself out there so much. And the next thing I know, somebody shared that video, and I was like, okay. But then I read the comments on it, and, I hate to sound like I'm obsessing, because I'm not, but they were really weird because a couple of people really liked the video and everything I had to say, which is great, 'cause who doesn't like to be agreed with? But then this other lady was like, well, I don't think she's really endorsing us because she's, what did she say? I don't remember. But another lady said that Katie really shouldn't come back because she shouldn't come here and spit all her stuff up on us and then just run away when the heat gets too bad. And somebody said, yeah, I felt that same way. She wasn't really endorsing us. She was kind of ridiculing our channel or whatever. And then I realized that she was talking about me. And I was like, first of all, that other lady wasn't talking about me. And secondly, don't agree. But yeah, so it's just weird. So I guess the point of that little rant is if you ever get the urge to share my video, please don't, because I am definitely not everybody's cup of tea. I do rub people the wrong way. I think you have to know that about yourself if you have that tendency. And I do, and I'm cool with it. And that's why I love just having my own little channel. And I just, vent every now and again on there. And for the most part, my channel is filled with Bella videos, which if you haven't seen any, you need to because she's so cute. On my shorts tab, it's just all Bella videos. There's nothing intermingled with that. It's just her. And they're so cute. But yeah, so that's it about that. And then, of course, I am so super, super, super fired up about the Menendez. I mean, I didn't think I was because it's such an old case and what do I care? But I was, of course, watching Roberta and she's really good at bringing, points to mind. And it just dawned on me what they're doing wrong. And this is my own opinion and probably nobody will agree, but that's fine. I don't find that much. I mean, there was not a scintilla of evidence that they were ever abused. Okay, agreed. But also, they did serve 35 years. That's a long time, okay? So I was thinking, if the public could just tone it down, chillax, and maybe make a argument for, well, they've been in jail for over 35 years. They did say that, they were abused and that's why they did it. And hell, even if it's not true at this point, 35 years is a long time. And they probably will not, offend on a physical level. I mean, they'll probably offend a lot of people that meet them, but, they're probably not going to commit another crime. So I really don't think it's that bad if they get let out. But what I do think is bad is the way that everybody is banding together and saying, oh, those poor boys. I mean, shouldn't it be like, well, maybe they have served enough time, given the current climate and the situation and the circumstances. Let's get them before a judge, maybe do a resentencing with time served, maybe give them a date to get out in 6 months from now or something where it's done logically, but with the passion and emotion of the whole world saying, oh, those poor babies, and Rosie O'Donnell leading the pack. And that's what's making me crazy. I don't mind if people serve a certain amount of time, and even if it's not the full sentence, I don't think it's the end of the world if they get an early release. But dang, I mean, I just wish people could just, tone it down and just realistically and reasonably just say, maybe it's time, and leave it at that instead of these movements and press conferences and this is all the stuff that makes me crazy. And the last thing I'm going to say is, about Charlie Adelson. I mean, I don't really know how that's going to play out, but just from everything that I'm seeing, and I'm just imagining myself being a fly on the wall in the DA's office, and I'll tell you, now, I don't know if there's a way. I mean, I know they've always wanted to get Wendy as a co-conspirator, but I don't think they just ever had enough evidence. I mean, they had a little smidge here and a little smidge there, and if you just kept piling it on, you have a mountain of evidence. But it doesn't work that way, and there's so many, like some of these lawyers are so good at keeping things out. I just don't think they'll ever get there. So then I was, listening to this other case, and it seems there's a charge. While you're not a conspirator, you're complicit in the knowledge of a murder that occurred or is occurring or something. And I don't have all my facts, so don't blast me. But I was thinking if they could retry Charlie, right, with Donna and get from them some form of hard, solid evidence that maybe she didn't know about the planning, but she was complicit in the covering up of it and all of that going forward, and they could make some charges stick. Here's the sentence that I would propose. Give Charlie 15 years, okay, and then eligible for parole, or 10 years eligible for parole. Give Donna lifetime house arrest and community service galore. So she would have to do a lot of things for her community, whether it be from the internet or whatever, but don't make it a picnic for her. But she would not be able to leave the house, go on vacations or anything like that. But lifetime house arrest till she died. And then somehow make some charges stick on Wendy that you got from Donna and Charlie, that she was complicit, and give her 5 years in jail, or 10 years, but I mean, I don't know, whatever they could work out. But I know they sound like light sentences, but at this rate, I'm telling you that DA is going to they're getting ready to just, I don't know, scrap the whole thing, I think. I just see it going like that because there are so many crimes in Florida and there's so many resources that these Adelsons are taking up that I would not be surprised. And also going forward, it's just such a mess because of all the different conflicts and everything. And who knows when they'll ever finally get Donna to trial. And what if she dies? And that would be a big setback. And I think they should just really present some kind of plea and work really hard on it, because I think there's a way to strike that chord. And I'm not saying what I just outlined is the way, but I definitely think that they must have some goods on Wendy. Not enough to send her away for life, that's for sure. But to do a little bit of time. I mean, I don't know if you remember the Andrea Snyderman case. That was pretty an amazing case where Hemi Newman shot her husband while he was dropping the kids off at daycare in Dunwoody, Georgia. And let me tell you, they were so sure that she knew something about the murder. And I don't think she did. But the worst part is they arrested her on murder charges, but they couldn't prove it and they dropped it. But they didn't drop the whole thing. They went after her for hindering an investigation. And I understand that's Georgia. This is Florida. But they actually had this whole trial where they were proving that she supposedly lied and did have an affair with her husband, her boss. And man, that woman served 2.5 years in the penitentiary. She got out. She was sentenced to 5. She got out in 2.5. But still, those were like 20 years for someone like Andrea. And let me tell you, it would be like 20 years for someone like Wendy, because they were both the same Jewish women, very privileged, very educated, Harvard, Stanford, the whole nine. So I think that even if she served a damn year in jail, it would be a hardship. I mean, that's just me, because when you're that privileged and you have to give everything up, it could be pretty painful. So if they could get her a 5-year, 7-year sentence on just the stuff that they have, I think that would be the route to try to take. But anyway, that's all I have to say on that. I don't even know what I'm going to make my thumbnail, because I waffled on so many subjects. So I guess we'll just call it potluck dinner. Anyway, thanks y'all. Bye now.